Hello everyone, welcome you all to Recycling and Recovery Connect. This is a program by Technobase. In today's session, we have Ecotrade Group and also the PGM Recycling as a part of this program on the Recycling and Recovery Connect. In this session today, the focus is on the Ecotrade Group and their business focusing on the automotive catalyst recycling and markets. Today we have a guest and Managing Director of the Ecotrade Group, Mr. Maxime Lebreton. He is the Managing Director and Partner of the Ecotrade Group PGM Recycling. So first I will ask him to give a presentation on the Ecotrade Group and also the business related to the automotive catalyst recycling. Afterwards, we'll have a conversation with him about all the markets and trends and the challenges involved in the automotive catalyst recycling. So let's welcome Mr. Maxime Lebreton to give a presentation on Ecotrade Group.
Good afternoon, Peram. So today, indeed, we're going to talk about catalytic converter recycling, the market in general, as well as the market in Thailand, the end-of-life vehicle market in Thailand, and I'll present our company, Ecotrade Group, and our services when it comes to purchase and recycling of automotive scrap catalyst. So Ecotrade Group is a company that has been founded in 2006, and we deal with automotive catalysts, automotive scrap catalysts, from cars, from motorbikes especially. We buy this material because we recover platinum group metals. That's to say platinum, palladium, and rhodium. So today the global demand worldwide exceed 400 tons per year, and we have to feed the gap between the mining and the global demand. So recycling automotive catalyst has becoming necessary through the years for over 30-40 years now, because the mining supply is not sufficient. We can see that the greatest demand for PGM is generated by the automotive industry at first, and this has been growing through the years, with especially driven by the Asian market this last decade. Vehicle production generates about 65 demands of the PGM metals, of the platinum group metals, and then we have the jewelry industry, the chemical industry, and to a lesser extent the electronic industry too. Why do we need to recycle? First, why catalytic converters exist? They exist because cars and motorbikes reject dioxide carbon emissions, and the catalytic converters is located between the engine and the exhaust system of the car, and is designed, it's a device designed to reduce emissions, reduce harmful emissions from gasoline and diesel fuels. So these catalytic converters, automotive catalysts, contain precious metal that are rare, and this has been, and the world has become increasingly aware of the lack of mining supply through the years. So this industry has been developing itself for a few decades now. When we recycle automotive catalysts, we can recycle up to 95% of its PGM content. So that saves a significant amount of energy compared to the mining industry. So where do we source this material? Where do we source automotive catalyst, scrap catalyst from vehicles, right? So in Thailand, for instance, there are over 5 million registered vehicles on the road that are 20 years plus. And it's expected to rise to 16 million in the next 20 years. The question of where have all the old cars gone is easy to ask, but hard to answer. On average, 70% of cars older than 10 years are used in upcountry in Thailand, in the north, also in the south, and this accounted for about 21% of total cars registered in Thailand in 2008, which makes a total of about 16 million vehicles. And it seems that all the cars are sold in upcountry regions where people with lower incomes can afford them. Despite being the largest production hub for global car manufacturers and the second largest domestic market for automobiles in Southeast Asia, after Indonesia, Thailand has no formal policy in terms of regarding end-of-life vehicles. And in addition, there is no statistic related to the number of end-of-life vehicles in Thailand because the Ministry of Land and Transportation does not enforce any requirement for vehicle owners to deregister. After 3 years of falling, the policy is as follows. After 3 years of failing to renew tapes, the DLT automatically erases these vehicles from the registration system. So there's been more and more calls to enforce recycling of end-of-life vehicles in Thailand, but there's still been no policy enforced. Whereas in Europe, in the European laws, for instance, all countries have committed to recycle 95% of the car components. And because Thailand lacks end-of-life vehicle laws and regulation, the ELV flow has been created based on common practice. First, like when a car owner with insurance is involved in a car accident, or when the car is not usable anymore, the car owner takes the vehicle to a car repair shop. Typically, the insurance company sends a spare or replacement part to the car repair shop, which then returns the damaged car parts to the insurance company. An irreparable car, like when the repair cost exceeds the insurance premium, it is returned to the insurance company and then auctioned off. The used car would be sold by an auction company to a car repair shop, second-hand shop, or dismantling factory, even though there is a very few of them in Thailand. Car parts are sold to recycling facilities, such as those for steel, plastic, battery, lead recovery, after being dismantled. And used tires, steel from used car, are recycled at a very low rate. The current capacity for dismantling vehicles would not be sufficient to process in the future because of the growing number of end-of-life vehicles in the future. Now, Ecotrade. So our company has been established in 2006 by a French entrepreneur, Valérie Hamlet, that recognized the growth opportunity of catalyst recycling in Thailand. At that time, we quickly invested in technologies to dismantle, to decane, to process, to sample and analyze catalytic converters on site in Thailand. Through the years, we also set up a new factory in Malaysia to process a specific kind of material and source material from overseas. We now have a factory in Cambodia also, as well as a warehouse in Vietnam, and we collaborate with other recycling companies in the world. So what do we recycle? We recycle mainly 3 types of material. There are 3 types of car catalyst. The first one is the ceramic catalytic converters, mainly used with gasoline driven vehicles. The DPF, diesel particulate filter, that is mainly used with diesel vehicles, and the metallic or foil catalyst that is used on motorbikes and sports car. We have a slightly different process for this material, but we buy and recycle all of this material because they contain precious metal, they contain platinum, palladium, and rhodium. We also have a mobile application that we developed a few years ago now that is able to identify, that let our suppliers identify the reference and the recycling value of their material. So by typing the brand and the reference, the code they can see on the scrap catalyst, we give them the recycling value of this material and our buying price, basically. We also offer like different kind of services to collect material from any province. Now, who do we work with? We work with garages, we work with scrapyards, we work with auto manufacturers, and we offer different services. Whether we accept delivery at our warehouse, we can collect material from any location in Thailand or in the world, and we provide car makers with store refining services where we recycle and return them their precious metal content through store refining services. So we have laboratories in-house in Thailand, and we are able to carry XRF analysis as well as ICP analysis, which is paramount in our industry. Our core values are professionalism, transparencies, and we are client-oriented. Professionalism because we operate with under all the regulations in Thailand, with all the required licenses. We do not operate at all with cash payments to discourage crime, and we work only with authorized sellers that provides their ID and identities. We are transparent because we are proud that we educate and collaborate with our suppliers through our application and our online catalog. And we are client-oriented as we offer convenient and tailored services depending on the kind of supplier we are working with. Yeah, I think that's that's about it for what we do here in Thailand, Pera.
Yeah, thank you very much, Maxim. Very interesting and also very important issue that you're addressing for Asia. Thank you very much. First of all, I'm really glad to know that about your company and what kind of things you are doing. For I think you said 17 million cars already there. It means we have 70 million people. It looks, see the size of the country and the size in the number of the cars and we are using it, and the numbers are mind-boggling. About more than 5 million cars are more than 20 plus years old. That's also scary in terms of yeah. I would like to touch a few issues to understand more about your business and as well as the markets and all. Okay. So Ecotrade company started in 2006. It's basically, is it a Bangkok-based company, but do you have any other places also? The registered company as headquarters.
Yeah, well, at the moment, we have 2 companies in Thailand. We have PGM Recycling, which is our recycling company. We are based in Samut Sakhon. So there we have a warehouse and we have all our recycling equipment. We welcome suppliers, but we also process, catalyst, analyze material, and we have an office. And we have a second company in Thailand, Ecotrade Tech. We are based in Bangkok, in Ekamai, where we develop our mobile application, because we are also distribute our mobile application worldwide, because it's the leading tool when it comes to material pricing, catalytic converter pricing. So we have a dedicated team, development team and customer service for this in Ekamai too. Moreover, we also have a factory in Malaysia. So we have a company in Malaysia and a company in Cambodia and Vietnam too.
So your focus is on all Asia, mostly in Southeast Asia right now, right? So which market is significant for you? And of course, the PGM recycling is located in Thailand. I believe that the market size for you in Thailand is much larger than in Malaysia or Vietnam. What it's like? Can you talk about the composition of the markets for you?
Yeah, that's correct. The domestic market in Thailand is quite significant, because Thai people love car. There is a lot of car with significant precious metal content in Thailand, because there is a lot of SUVs. There is a lot of 4-wheel car, and these cars pollute a lot, so they require a significant amount of platinum group metals to prevent them from being too noxious. So the domestic market, the domestic supplies in Thailand is significant. However, the regulations when it comes to importing material in Thailand are a little bit strict, and requires licenses for each suppliers that we import from Thailand. So that's one of the main reasons we set up a factory in Malaysia, because even though the domestic market is not that significant, we also import material from Southeast Asia, from India, from Australia, from the Philippines, from all over Southeast Asia and even further. And that's one of the main reasons we set up a location in Malaysia now, about 10 years ago, I believe.
Yeah. So I think that the regulations are related to the importing recycle, particularly the raw material for the recycling industry, we so call it. It's getting very stringent, because nobody wants some garbage in some place and come to our own countries. So it's important to have proper regulations, and it makes so much sense, establishing individual countries as well, and each country has a different rules, in terms of the regulation. Yeah. So.
Yes, that's correct. But if I can add something, our industry is very special, because we are recycling precious metal. Right. We are not recycling something that has no value. We are bringing precious metal into Thailand and recovering it with the scrap. But it's been a little bit tough to explain this also, and to convince authorities that this is bringing value, and this is not bringing like low value scrap.
Yeah, I think that education part is also, you need to educate regulators to understand the value of the recycled materials. We're talking about a platinum group, platinum, palladium, rhodium. They are very expensive, right? and also
Correct.
very very valuable, and very, you don't have so many mines for it, so you in the world, right? So it's very important material that you need to recycle back, and so that you can take care of environment properly, right? So yeah, you mentioned correctly in that. I want to touch a little bit on the, you're talking about vehicles. Okay, let's divide them into the cars and the motorcycles. So which one is more significant for you, motorcycles or the cars? And equally in Asia, you have both. If you go to Vietnam, if you stop at one red signal of the traffic signal, you see how many motorcycles move within 1 minute, or it's like ants are moving together at one time. And so much in the motorcycle industry also there, along with the car industry. So which is significant for you?
Well, you're absolutely right. In Thailand, the market is mostly driven by scrap cars, scrap car catalysts. However, in Vietnam, for instance, we recycle a lot of catalysts from motorcycle. So these small steel catalysts, we recycle them a lot, and we also work with brands. We also work with automotive brands in Thailand, in Vietnam too, that are actually manufacturing catalysts, and sometimes they also have like a rejection from the factory. So we also offer recycling services and toll refining services to car makers company, because even though they are producing material, they don't have the capacity of recycling it and obtaining a return, a good return for it. So yeah.
Now it's very important that the motorcycles in one country and the cars in other country. Yeah. You have so many brands. Cars have different brands, okay, and also motorcycles have different brands. Are there any difference between the converters, brand to brand, or all are the same in terms of the technical specifications?
Well, it really depends. What I can say on a general basis is that all the OEM, all the original catalysts that are on the vehicle when it's brand new are usually a higher content of precious metal than the aftermarket one, the one that can be changed if something happens, if something goes wrong with the catalyst. However, you can find some pattern. Some brands, some German brands, some American brands tend to have more platinum group metals in them. And also it is very linked to local and national regulations. For instance, in European Union, you have the Euro 4, Euro 5, and all of these regulations imposes the car makers to comply with, and therefore the content of precious metals must reach a certain amount. So we can see that in Europe and in America, we have usually a higher content of platinum group metals, and sometimes it can even varies from a state to another. In the US, for instance, if you take off a catalytic converter from California, you may expect more platinum group metals, a higher load than in Texas, for instance, because the regulations in California are more tightened. So the big challenge also for us, because we buy material locally, nationally, but also from other countries, is to determine the exact content of precious metal. And that's why we developed and designed our mobile application, EcoCat app, because we have compiled a database of knowledge for 20 years buying material and recycling material from all over the world and from all over Asia, we are able to know precisely, or as much as precise as we can, the content of precious metal in each reference, in each type of catalyst from each brand. And this knowledge, we released it to the public through our mobile application. And this is a great tool, not only for us to purchase and recycle at the right price, but also for our suppliers to make sure that they are getting their fair return for the material that they are recycling.
I think your tool app is very useful. I think you are also defining, okay, this is a model, this is a price. Okay, it means that you already know how much you can, the value of each model converter is there, and information is transparent, so that if whether it is a garage guy or whether it is a material collectors, he knows how much value is in there based on the models they collected it. So yeah, it is a very, very good tool. Can you talk about how many members now in this in this app? You have 4 types of members, right? Garage people and also waste collectors.
Yes.
Even the OEMs also being the members, yeah, right? Because they have to return the defective converters and return process it again. And so can you talk about the numbers, how it is growing for you?
Yes. So, okay, we are offering the application throughout the world. In Thailand, the application is free because we are giving it for free to our suppliers, so they can use it to sell us and recycle their material. However, we have a subscription-based model in other countries where we do not purchase directly. So, well, it's a competitive industry, so I cannot disclose all the figures, but we can see from the Google Play listing and the Apple Store listing some public figures regarding the amount of downloads that we have, and we are today the leading application in our niche market.
Yeah, I totally understand, but when you have this app, I think it's more transparent, more easier to do the recycling. If somebody wanted to get into being a supplier to you, it's much easier because everything is transparent. I think that's how I want to say. Yeah. See, you have a factory in Bangkok, Thailand, in Samut and so collecting is one. The Samusakon, yeah, the collecting of the converters one thing, process is another thing. So can you talk about your technical capabilities? I think your team, it's important, this is precious metal. You need the right skills, to the people who process it. You have a, very important in analyzing that, testing them. And so can you talk about your capabilities in terms of processing and also your team, yeah, please.
You're right. The first thing is to have the right team, and because the people that are buying material needs to be well trained, and in this industry the learning curve is very slow. The learning curve is slow because there is so many things to learn about. There are so many slight details that matters, and we are dealing with scrap material where we do not always manage to read the marks, the codes, and also in this industry we have some bad-minded people who can try to take advantage of you. In some other countries also, not too much in Thailand, but in the US and in Europe, for instance, there are like some organized crime crime organization like that are stealing this material off the streets. Yeah, it requires a lot of knowledge, a lot of precautions. You need to adhere to a set of KYC procedure, and I think this is an industry where you really need to learn consistently, continuously, and invest in people, invest in new technologies, do research and development, innovate. I think this is paramount to stay in this industry.
Yeah, very much true, very much true. Yeah, just for the sake of understanding, what are the market prices of platinum, or the palladium or rhodium? What are the currently the market prices? You sell in tons, right, or in kilos, or what this? Yeah.
Yeah, usually we use the troy ounce measure. So at now the trading market, we could trade for 1,100 troy ounce the platinum this morning, and the palladium would be about $1,800 per troy ounce, and the rhodium, which is today is one of the scarcest metals and also one of the most pricey, about $12,000 per troy ounce.
Oh, very valuable one. Yeah.
This is more than gold.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, you talk about different old cars, right? Different, like 20 years, maybe some are last longer than 20 plus years. Recovery rate, if it is 10 years old, it is 20 years old. How is the situation of recovery rate of the recycling rate of the all these PGMs from the converters?
We're talking about converters, right? So basically, we can recycle up to 95% of the ceramic or of the platinum group metals contained in the ceramic. So if the car manufacturers put 1 gram of platinum, 1 gram of palladium, and 1 gram of rhodium in a catalyst, we will recover 95% of this. So what in the supply chain, basically we decant, we process, we sample, we analyze the material, then the material goes to refineries. When it's smelted and refined within 3 months lead time usually, and then the material is out in ingots and traded to car manufacturer and jewelry industry.
Oh, okay, that's interesting. And you only buy the converter only, or you come whole piece, including the metal part also?
Well, the decanting process is when we separate the metallic shell from the ceramic, from the honeycomb inside. When we remove the metallic shell, we do not recycle the steel ourselves. We sell it locally in Thailand for the Thai market. Yes.
Okay, so you when you buy it, you buy whole piece, but you get rid of that metal part to the other companies. Yeah. So
yes, because we are precious metal recyclers. We are not metal recyclers.
You are in the special category of the special. You need a specialization. Compared to the metal recycling, is a different ball game and different way of doing things. So it's a platinum group of which needs a lot of technical competence. It's not everybody can do it. This kind of recycling, right?
Yeah. That's correct. There are not so many companies in this industry, and everybody knows each other. We have acquired our skills through experience, through the years, and yes, that's true.
So how is your vision, in the next 10 years? How do you see the Ecotrade group? What's your plans?
Well, we will keep investing in new technologies, offering new services, especially on the mobile application.
Yeah.
We are now thinking also of developing a mobile application for e-waste, electronic waste recycling. This is going to be released in a few months, actually. And when it comes to the automotive catalyst industry, well, this is hard to say because now the automotive industry is driven by other energies, other fuels. There is the EV, the electric vehicles, the hydrogen vehicles. That requires platinum, though, but the EV do not require precious metal. So the demand of platinum group metals may decrease, but this is not before 15, 20, 25 years. So we still have time in our industry to diversify and work on different new segments.
Yeah. It's good to know that you also wanted to expand into the e-waste, electronic waste. That's also a huge issue now in everywhere.
That's true.
You know, you talk about computers. You know, as a part of the Recycling and Recovery Expo, we also address that issues on e-waste management as well. So, Maxim, it's nice to catch up with you and understand about your business, Ecotrade Group, and what you're doing on automotive catalyst recycling and the markets. I think what you're doing is good for the environment, first of all, and of course, whoever is doing the business and being members of or subscribers of your business, also they become profitable because it's a value. It is a platinum, man. It is a platinum metal. Okay, so it's something that you get a lot of value out of it. Yeah. So, any final message to the audience before we wrap it up?
Well, we look forward to meeting all the participants at the show, at the exhibition. We will have our booth, and any companies, any representative that want to connect with us in the recycling industry, in the automotive industry, is welcome to come. We are really happy to discuss any opportunities, and I think that's about it for me.
Okay, thanks a lot, Maxim. It's a wonderful discussion and also the good information on the Ecotrade Group, what you're doing on the automotive catalyst recycling and also opportunities in Asia and beyond. And it's good to know that you're also, diversifying into e-waste management also. That is also an important issue for the Asian markets. Thanks a lot. And guys, this is the end of the, thank you. This is the end of this, Recycling and the Recovery Connect program today, focusing on the Ecotrade Group, focusing on the automotive catalyst recycling and markets. We had an opportunity to talk to Maxim Lebreton. He's a managing director and partner of the Ecotrade Group and also the PGM Recycling. I'm hoping that you find this session useful. As Max has mentioned, please do visit PGM Recycling and Ecotrade Group at our expo, Recycling and Recovery Expo in Bangkok during the 29 to 30 March at Bytech. And I look forward to see you all in the next episode of it in the Recycling and Recovery Connect. Please do visit ecotradegroup.com for more information. As you see, his app is fantastic. And if you know someone on the recyclers who would like to be part of their journey, it's a way to go. Thank you all for joining this session today. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, Bera.